Okay, I've had lots of questions recently about community college and understanding what classes you should take. A lot of you have asked me, hey, Mr. Troche, I have registered, I've been enrolled, I've got my ID number, I've got my registration date to pick classes. What on earth do I pick? So I want to touch base with you on that, talk about some of the resources that are available, where you should turn, who you should talk to, and give you a general overview of that, okay? So before we start, the first thing I want to talk about is knowing where those resources are. Now, I'm going to use Citrus College's website because most of our students will go to Citrus College. But Chaffey and Mount Sac and other community colleges will have similar information on their websites. In fact, in the description, I will link you to their transfer resources and to their advisement resources for each one of those colleges, are kind of our local three. So let's go ahead and get started here. The first stop on this tour is going to be the Counseling and Advising website, which is what I have up here. And before we get started and everything else, the first thing I would recommend you do is make sure you go through the orientation process and make sure you meet with the counselors there in the advisement center. Here's the deal. These counselors are experts on transfer and experts on navigating community college. Okay, I'm going to give you a broad overview, but these are the people who are going to fill in the details. And you want to make sure you have a good relationship with your counselor and the transfer center and the resources at the community college you're attending. So let's get started here on the Welcome to Counseling and Advisement Center webpage. We're going to start by scrolling down to the bottom. And there's a bunch of links down at the bottom, but I want to focus in on this one right here. Are you a new student? Click here to begin your journey. And really, this is a step-by-step process through the advisement process in the counseling center. I'm going to actually really focus in on some of the latter ones, but I want to make sure that you go through all of these yourself. Okay, we're going to be taking a look at required online orientation here. So Citrus College has a required online orientation. It's a good orientation, but more importantly, that's going to open up the Student Educational Plan Workshop. The reason why that's important is that's going to be the selection of courses you're going to have while you're in community college. That's going to help guide you to picking the right classes to transfer. And we are going to go over some of that today. I am going to kind of show you some of the resources you can look at before you even go to this Student Educational Plan Workshop. But it's really important that you invest some time in the orientation and the process that the counseling center has put together for you. Again, it's a great resource, and your counselors are great resources. And I would encourage you to not only meet with those counselors to set up your initial plan, but check in with them on a regular basis to make sure you're following that plan and make sure that you're making the progress you need to get to your desired transfer school. All right. Gone through that. The next thing I want to show you is going to be, get it on here, good. The Transfer Center. So this is the Transfer Center website, okay? And the transfer services at Citrus College and the other community colleges, their job is to set up agreements, basically clear documents that outline the courses you need to take to get into that next step in your educational process. And we're going to talk about some of those services and some of those agreements and how you find that information and how you get to find a real solid plan for transferring. Because here's the deal. When you take classes at community college, you want to make sure that they transfer to the four-year university you will eventually attend. And so Citrus College, Chaffey College, Mount Sac have all set up agreements with both public and private universities to get you to a point where your transfer agreements, or where the courses you take, where the courses you take will transfer automatically to meet the requirements of the four-year university that you transfer to. So we're going to talk about three major areas, and we're going to look at 4 different sites in terms of figuring out where you would transfer to and how you would make that work, okay? All of these are going to be linked all the way down at the bottom here in these link sections here, but I already have them up on the web pages, so we're going to use that, but you can get those links at the bottom of the web page for Citrus. So if we go to our guaranteed agreements, our transfer admission guarantee agreements, what these are these are agreements between the community colleges and certain four-year public universities. And if you complete the transfer agreement with the minimum GPA you are guaranteed a spot at the UC and one Cal State at the UC listed. So let's take Santa Barbara. Let's say you are coming out of high school, and maybe you applied but didn't get into UC Santa Barbara, or you were accepted to UC Santa Barbara. That's your dream school, but for financial reasons, for family reasons, for other reasons, you don't necessarily want to attend there in the fall. If you take a look at being part of the TAG program, the Transfer Admission Guarantee Program for Santa Barbara, and meet the 30 semester unit requirement along with 3.4 GPA, you will be guaranteed admissions after 2 years. You'll be guaranteed admissions at UC Santa Barbara. Now, for these agreements, you have to enroll in them up front. So there's an application period, I have it highlighted here on the right just above me, of September 1st through September 30th. So that means when you start at Citrus College, you have 30 days, September 1st to September 30th, to apply for a TAG agreement for UC Santa Barbara. If you miss that application, you will not be part of the TAG agreement. It doesn't mean that you still can't complete the courses required to transfer to UC Santa Barbara and apply and be accepted. You're just not going to have the guarantee of admissions. Okay? And the same thing goes, let's say you end up with a 3.3 GPA and you're part of the TAG agreement. You may not have met the TAG agreement, meaning you may not be eligible for the guarantee, but you still have the option to apply. The guarantee is nice, gives you certainty of where you're going to be attending after you finish Citrus College. So when you go to look at this transfer admissions guarantee, you click on the school that you want. It's going to give you more information about that. I'm not going to go into detail on this, but again, all the stuff is linked from the Citrus College website. Those are your TAG agreements. Close that out. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is the I Get C, which is a very fancier word for another articulation agreement. Articulation means transferring from one to a school to another. The I Get C is for students who may not know where they want to go. They're thinking, I want to go to a UC or Cal State campus, but I'm not sure exactly where I want to go, nor do I think I want to do a transfer admission guarantee, want to keep my options open. The I Get C is going to take a look at your general ed curriculum. Okay, this is the general education requirements for transferring. And the idea behind this is the community college have put together a singular program that will transfer to all the UCs and all the Cal States. And this really simplifies for students which classes they need to take. They don't have to worry about, well, if I want to go to Cal Poly Pomona and I also want to go to UC Davis, I'm looking at both those options. I don't want to take two separate set of courses, one for Cal Poly Pomona, one for UC Davis. This is all one set of courses. And I want you to think about this like graduation requirements. So think about it from the perspective of high school. Your senior year, you had the option to take senior English, AP Literature, IB English HL2. Some of you have ERWC. You have 4 different classes to meet one requirement, that one requirement being senior English. Okay? It's going to be the same when you look at this from the I Get C. So if you take a look, we're looking at English options here. You have Group A, and you have 4 courses listed, but you only need 1 course out of those 4 to meet I Get C. Okay? So you can take English 101 or you can take English 101H. You don't have to take both. You're taking one or the other. And if you pass that class, you've met that first requirement, 1A for I Get C. 1B is a separate requirement. And again, 4 classes listed, you only need to take 1 of them. And you keep going down the line. You have mathematics in here. You have arts and humanities in here. There's all these different options. Now, this is the minimum, this is the general education requirements for the I Get C. When you're looking at I Get C, you may also be looking at specific majors down the road. And I Get C is your general ed requirements. For some colleges, in fact, for many colleges, they will also require major-specific requirements. So for that, we're looking at completing our general ed requirements, but we also need to complete our major requirements. And for that, we're going to look at assist.org. So assist.org is a website that compiles all of these transfer agreements by major. There's a lot out there. If you think about the four-year colleges, public universities we have, and all of the majors they have, each one of those requires separate agreements. And so there's quite a bit out there. We're going to go ahead and play around here, and we're going to switch it up, and we're going to go Chaffey College as our institution for the fall of this next year. And we want to look at the agreements with, let's say, UC San Diego, if I can spell it right. There it is, University of California, San Diego. And we click View Agreements. Then we're going to click the major. In this situation, I think we want to take a look at, let's go bioengineering. We want to view that agreement. So now, in addition to IGETC, we're going to be looking at meeting these additional requirements to be in bioengineering, okay? And I won't go through this in detail. I may just quickly stop at the math option here. So what they're saying is these are the requirements you need to meet. In addition to being IGETC, we want you to meet these requirements. And right up here is the general information about that, okay? Again, this is where you really want to use your counseling and your transfer services people at Citrus College. You want to use those resources to get the detailed information and set up a really solid course plan for you. But this at least will give you an idea of what you need to meet in order to make those transfer requirements happen, in order to make sure by the end of your 2 years, you're ready to go to UC San Diego and major in bioengineering. All right. Mr. Troche, I don't want to go to a public university. I want to go to community college, spend 2 years there, and then transfer to a private school. How do I do that? Well, on the transfer services website, let me go back to that. On the very bottom, you'll see, and this is where all the resources are, you will see this private and out-of-state universities link here, okay? And this is going to take you to the website that we have open here. And it's going to show you the agreements that currently exist between Citrus College and private schools and Citrus College and out-of-state public schools or out-of-state private schools. Now, in this situation, we have a lot of students who will go from Citrus College and move next door to Azusa Pacific University. So we're going to go ahead and click on that one. And this is going to take you to the Azusa Pacific website, which will have the agreement hosted there. And we're going to look at Citrus College. And it's going to show us the list of classes that Azusa Pacific University will accept as transfer courses from Citrus College. Why is this important? So private colleges kind of have their own set of rules. The UCs, the Cal States, they all agreed for the IGETC to be the general ed transfer requirements. Okay. However, private schools have their own set of rules, and you want to make sure what you take at Citrus College will transfer to Azusa Pacific. Okay. Now, Azusa Pacific happens to take IGETC, and they actually accept that as part of the transfer, but not all of those private schools will. However, some of you are in a situation where either A, the school you want to transfer to is not listed under Citrus College or Chaffey College or Mount Sacs transfer agreements or articulation agreements. Some of you are in a position where you don't even know what school you want to transfer to. Okay? In those situations, my recommendation would be follow IGETC. Those IGETC classes are specifically designed to be as broad as possible to meet as many college requirements as possible. If you stick with IGETC, you'll be able to minimize the number of courses that will not transfer, and that's really going to be key for you as you're in community college. All right, so back to my notes. I would also encourage you, as you look at your community colleges, to consider exploring some of the courses that they offer. You've got to remember, going to community college, especially if you don't know where you want to transfer to or what your expected major is down the road, going to community college is an excellent opportunity to explore some of those options. And while you want to try and finish community college in 2 years and have as few non-transferable classes as possible, it's okay to have 1 or 2. There's room within your schedule at Citrus, at Chaffey, at Mount Sac, to have 1 or 2 non-transferable classes and still be able to transfer. And so having the opportunity to explore your options while you're in college is a really great opportunity for you. And I would encourage you to take advantage of that. I hope this helped. I'm going to go back to what I said at the very beginning. When you get ready to go to community college, when you're making that transition, make sure you take advantage of the resources in the Counseling Center. Make sure you take advantage of the resources in the Transfer Services Center. You want to make sure that that you are taking the courses that you need to make the transfer, and the experts for this are those counselors at the community college. Thanks for watching.